Hello, we are back. I am going to talk in a proper voice like this. I don't know why. I am sitting amidst some very curious, eager to know meerkats. They want to know, is teachers pay teachers disappearing? Like, is it gonna go away someday? Like, go out of business because of AI? That's what Jess and I are exploring. And Jess has a very curious, what kind of bird is that above you, Jess?
No idea, but I love birds.
Me too. Well, everyone's curious. The meerkats, the birds, the teachers, teachers, sellers. What is going to happen to TPT in the age of AI? That's what this episode is about.
Are we really talking about that, or are we going to talk about this TPT seller survey too?
Well, I think it's part of it, right?
Okay,
Like, I
okay.
think they're part
It
of
could be intertwined a little bit. Okay, so first, I found this TPT seller survey. It's done by the Terrific Teacherpreneur Podcast. There were two people that worked on it. And you can see here Rebecca from Hoff Math and Alexandra from Terrific Teacher Tactics. They're both two TPT sellers. They sent out a survey to 1,000 people, a little less than 1,000. Well, they didn't send it out. They just put it out on the internet, and a little less than 1,000 people answered, close to 1,000. And me and Amanda were kind of going through it because I think we've both been thinking this, but we haven't said it out loud that TPT is going down the tubes a little bit because everyone we know, including ourselves, we've been having less and less sales over the years, right? Our sales numbers have gone down, and they haven't been growing. So it just feels like there's definitely a shift in education and what teachers are spending money on. I think there's so many factors. I definitely do think AI is a factor because if I look at my own TPT purchases, I have purchased over 1,000 items on TPT. For real. You can go in, and I'm very impressed with my library of these things I've bought because I bought so many things for my business, like clip art and fonts. We used to buy fonts, but I've also bought a lot of lessons. And this year, I have not bought a single lesson because one, my school makes us fill out a form when we buy TPT lessons, and we have to evaluate the lesson on the form. And I kind of don't want to do that. So I've just been going to different AI things and having AI create lesson plans for me. And I've just been using those lesson plans. And I do use a slide deck that I did get on TPT to build my lessons every week, but I'm using the information from ChatGPT to build my lesson plans every week. And so I'm not really buying as much. And I used to be like an overspender on there. So I imagine that AI is kind of taking over a bit. And that's one of the reasons, one of the things that I think is happening. But anyway, so I found this 1,000 teacherpreneur survey, and me and Amanda were just going through it, and we're like, we have got to talk about this. So they had a bunch of people come and say how much they make, and there's a lot of people still making over 10,000 a month. There's even some people making over 20,000 a month. But one thing that all those people had in common is they had very large catalogs of products, meaning their stores have over 600 products in them. That's an
Well,
insane amount of products.
yeah, and I wanted to say two things in response to this survey. First of all, thank you to Rebecca and Alexandra from Terrific Teacher Tactics. This is really awesome. And they have a disclaimer though, which I think is important for us to read. But also, I think it'd be cool to tell people where they could find the survey results. Uh, so I'm not sure where you found this, so tell us in a second. But here's the disclaimer. These results were self-reported, which can lead to response bias. For example, some people may not have been entirely truthful in their responses or may have misunderstood the question. So this wasn't like a scientific like survey or anything, you know what I mean? It's just people who saw the survey, filled it out. But where can you find this survey, Jess?
Someone just posted the link randomly in a Facebook group called Wallflowers. Apparently, they also linked it to their podcast called the Terrific Teacherpreneur. And I suppose, I mean, since it's out there in these Facebook groups, I don't know if you think it would be ethical. We could post the survey. It's like it's a Google slideshow of their results. Do you think it would be okay? It has them listed on there. Like, could we put it in our show notes, Amanda?
I mean, since this is public, I mean, we could always contact them to ask, but uh yeah, there's so much information here. And I think um the idea that the people who are making the most money, you've always told this to me, Jess, that like you need more products because the more products you have, the more likely people are going to search. But also, I've heard that, like, what is it? Like, I forget what it is. 80% of your sales only comes from like 20% of your products or something like that, like the top selling products. So, in a way, those two ideas contradict each other.
Not necessarily. And here I'm going to do a quick math problem to show you. If you have 600 products in your store, that means 120 of them are making you the most of your money. Whereas if you only have a store, because that would be 20% of your products, would be 120 products. Whereas like me and you have stores probably around 100, 120 products. Well, we're having a lot less products as our showcases, right? That's just our top 20 products right there, making us all the money. So
Yeah.
like if you do increase your product lines, you're going to increase your sales just on pure numbers alone, right? And I mean, that's not saying you're putting out a bunch of junk because there are all these fake AI stores now with tens of thousands of products where I don't know if I've told you about these, but they're selling like a single letter. They're selling the letter A for like $3.
Yeah, we
I mean,
talked about this in one of
yeah,
the
there's
episodes.
these silly weird things happening right now. But I can see how, okay, if I'm making so much money a month off of these 24 products, right? Well, what if I had 120? I would definitely be making more money because instead of only selling the same 24 products, I'd be selling 120 products. I mean, I do think it's more about the quality of your products too. I mean, if you had a store of 120 products and they were all year-long bundles and all the products were worth a lot of money, you'd probably be making as much as someone who had a store of 600 $5 products. You know what I mean? So I think it kind of matters like how much your products are versus how many you have, but they definitely seem to have something in common here where the more products they have, the more money they're making. And to me, that kind of makes sense because I've always heard this analogy like you wouldn't want to go shopping at a store with nothing on the shelves. You wouldn't stay at that store very long. You'd get kind of bored there. So the more shelves and things to look at, the deeper you're going to go into the store and the more stuff you're going to buy.
Well, and I think that with AI, teacherpreneurs can create more, right? Using AI as an assistant to, put their creative ideas into action like a lot quicker. And so I feel like teachers pay teachers, sellers, um, I think AI could be such a helpful tool to grow, but at the same time, it's like, okay, if it's helping us grow, like, and we're all using it, does that mean teachers pay teachers is going to grow? Because we're talking about AI maybe causing teachers pay teachers, sellers to lose their income and lose their jobs. Um, like, how likely do you think that is? And I think it's really likely. Like, I really do because of what you were saying. Teachers can use AI now to make things for them. They don't need to
But
go
the
buy stuff on Teachers Pay Teachers anymore,
The
you
problem
know?
is you kind of do have to buy things if you want it to look cool because AI does not have the capability of making anything look
Yet.
professional yet. I'm wondering how long is it going? I think the big question here is how long is it going to take for AI to get its visual act together, because like right now, like almost every single thing I've ever asked it to make in a visual product is so awful. I mean, you can tell that it's fake, it's like grainy, it's wackadoodle. So I'm wondering, like, how long is it going to take? I mean, it's already kind of taking over the world. How long does it take for it to, and I believe it's called, when you have ability to use like, or you have really cool graphics, like I don't know if they call it GUI, like graphic user interfaces, where like things start to look cool, like you're playing a video game. Like, how long does that take? Because AI is already taking up so much energy as is, right? With just words, that I think like generating like the pictures and making things look cool, like when is it going to even happen? I think the technology has to grow. So, I mean, maybe there's a window of time that Teachers Pay Teacher sellers still have to build a store, build a brand, build an audience before AI maybe collapses the system. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen next year. I don't think it's going to happen 5 years from now, maybe 10 years from now. I don't know. When
I
did,
think
like,
it
do
might
you?
happen within a year or two.
I don't know.
'Cause
That's so bad, Amanda. The stuff that it produces is so crappy.
I know, and I know, and there are AI is creating images, and they're strange, and but they're constantly working to
Images that would help
improve.
children learn, that would be as cool as some TPT products I've seen. I can't imagine it right
Well,
now.
I know, but we couldn't imagine that we would be where we are today either, right? Like with AI chatbots, like we couldn't. I mean, it is mind blowing what.
5 years ago, I couldn't imagine it, but 2 years ago, I could.
Well, it didn't come out. It came out 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Chat GPT is 3 years old
yeah.
right
So
now.
I mean, I'm just saying, like 2 years ago, I was imagining it doing a lot more than what it is right now. Like I was imagining, it's almost like the flying car scenario, right? Like 50 years ago, everyone thought we were going to have flying cars by now, but we
Mhm.
don't. We're so far from the technology. I'm just wondering if this whole AI thing, like I think that intellectual ideas are so golden on AI. And even like there's so much you can do with it. But creating things that are visually appealing to kids in a classroom, it seems to be this area that, I mean, what I'm seeing right now, it's so bad. I can't imagine. And I know AI is like teaching itself how to get better and better and better, but like at what rate? Like, because the last 3 years, I haven't seen an improvement in graphics, is what I'm trying to say. So when is the improvement with graphics going to happen? Where is it taking place? Who's experimenting with that right now?
Well,
And like,
and we don't want
you
it
know,
to happen, right? Like
no.
we don't want that. But also, you're making me realize like this survey talks about elementary versus secondary. So it says, like, I think the second or third slide, it talks about the top 10 data insights. So elementary grades are the dominant niche. Pre-K, second grade, and third through sixth grade are the most common niches reported of these 1,000 sellers that took this survey. And I consider myself an elementary and secondary seller, and I feel like secondary sellers, they don't care as much about the graphics. Do you know what I mean? Or like people who are buying, high school teachers who are buying curriculum on TPT, it's not as image focused, I don't think. And so it's making me think like secondary sellers are the ones that are gonna, start to lose more because they're not as tied to the graphics. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like
Yeah,
little kids, graphics are more
yeah, little
important.
kids, graphics are everything for them to learn things. They really have to have very good graphics. And yeah, I can't imagine the AI getting up to speed with knowing. It doesn't seem to have the intuition to know when something looks bad. It really doesn't.
Well, there's
It's
random
so
things like it'll
weird.
have like people with 6 fingers or like some random like image that's not supposed to be there will pop up. And yeah, I've definitely played around with it. But there's also like these like really cool apps like Picstory, right? Or Pictory.ai. It can create videos, and it has like all these like this whole library of B-roll or whatever, like that you can put in the background. And I think you can create slideshows too. And like Canva, you can create slideshows, and there's AI features in Canva
Yeah.
that you can use, and you can just like have the AI within Canva that already has graphics for you write the content for a slideshow. You know what I mean? So like it's not just Chat GPT, it's like Canva. It's tools like Canva that teachers have access to that they can quickly crank out. Have you played with Canva's slideshow features and AI features yet?
A little bit, a little bit. And I do think Canva is one reason TPT sales are going down. Because if I'm being honest, like I use ChatGPT to make lesson plans, and everything visual I have is coming from Canva now. Because my school district has a subscription to it, and I can use everything for free. And a lot of big school districts have bought into that now. So I do think that's something to consider is like how many more educational companies or content creating companies are going to start using AI to make content creation easier. And at what point is like TPT going to be able to use AI maybe? Because I still think you're going to need knowledge from teachers. Like I do think that there's just something that teachers that humanity I can't think of the word, but humanitarian
Humanitarian.
humanitarian
Yeah.
humanitarian element, right? Where you're having a conversation with a kid and then you figure out like this one thing that's gonna make it make sense to them. I don't know like when is AI going to replicate that?
Well, I mean, it already is. Like, I don't want to name names, but like I have like friends who are using AI for help with personal problems, you know?
I know that would be me, but no, I'm saying that like teaching someone how to read is a little different than like, you know what I mean? Like there's
But
it's a skill that I think is hard to replicate.
yes, for sure. And
Yeah.
I think teachers are so vital and important and just human connection. And I think that, like, I think our next episode, we're going to talk about like maybe we should start preparing for teachers pay teachers to go away. Like, don't you think maybe we should, just in case, like an emergency preparedness plan for TPT sellers who are worried that their income is going to disappear? And it is, I mean, it's already happening. So
Yeah,
should
I
we
wonder
prepare?
we maybe our next episode we could talk about like other businesses that teachers could be creating that would help.
That wouldn't be replaced by AI, right? Like,
Yes. I
um,
mean,
and I have
and I
some
did.
ideas.
Yeah, I have some ideas too, and some of the ideas came from your last podcast episode. So I'm probably just gonna echo all your ideas.
Oh, with Adrian
Yeah, I
Martenza.
listened to it yesterday on the way home.
Yeah, he's so forward thinking. I think he's given me a lot of ideas too. So yeah, let's do that for our next episode. So stay tuned, everyone.
Yeah,
Meerkats and Birdie.
are you ready to say goodbye?
Yeah,
Namaste.
namaste. Okay.